What up, everyone? So, we finished the monthly review for the month of January. February's boxes showed up all at once, all on the same day. So there's a shitload of boxes just sitting here. So I want to get on reviewing with those. And the first one I'm going to do is the Stan Lee box. One of the first ones to show up, among others. And we got this one 2 months ago. It's bi-monthly. So, and the first one wasn't that great. It had really good stuff. I liked everything in there. Much different than the Stan Lee box that Nerdblock did, because that thing was a piece of shit. But this one was actually good. I really liked the items in there. They had really good choices, but the price point wasn't quite there. And I think that's because not enough people are buying the box, so there's not enough money going into the box. So I think that's their problem. But if they can find a way to put more value in the box, then I think it'd be really great. But let's take a look at this one and find out. Alright, let's take a look. Got our little cheat sheet with all the stuffs. Cool. Alright, right off the bat, looks like we got a shirt. Let's take a look at what it is. And it looks like Stan Lee's face. I think they're overdoing it with the whole Stan Lee face thing. I've got like 5 shirts now with just Stan Lee's face on it. This is Excelsior, his catchphrase, and in his glasses it looks like it has New York City. I mean, it's a cool picture, I guess. It makes him look really old. So the line work makes him look really old and wrinkly, but I guess he kind of is. And the shirt quality is not very nice. It's really itchy. What is this? All style. I'll have to try this on. This does not seem like it's going to fit very well, but I will see. But yeah, there we go. Another shirt with Stan Lee's face on it. I think they should get a little more creative. I think we have enough shit with his face on it. They can try to mix it up a little bit, because everything else in here doesn't have Stan Lee on it. It's just stuff that he had to do with it, or stuff that he picked out because he curated it. But yeah, that's okay. I'll give that a rating when we come back to it. Alright, next, we got a Q-Fig from Quantum Mechanics, and this is one I'm really excited to see. Box is damaged, though. Damn it. So this is Spider-Man hanging from a lamppost. You can see it in there. See that? And I'm really happy this came, because I saw this a while ago, and I knew I wanted it, and I was going to go out and get it, but I stopped myself because I thought, well, this may show up in a box. Not likely, but it could, so I'm going to wait a little bit to see if it does, and it did. So I'm glad I didn't get it. I'm just going to pull it out. I'm going to pull it out of the box anyway. The box is damaged anyway, so I might as well just pull it out, get a better look at it. But yeah, I really like this figure specifically. I like the Q-Figs in general. They just do a really good job. They always kind of have. And I like them much better than pop figures because they're so much more detailed. Oh look, and it actually is rubbery, so he actually just moves around on it. That's cool. That's really nice. I really like that. Good stuff. Good choice. So yeah, it seems like this box has good choices. It's just not enough dollar amount getting put into it. But yeah, the choices are great. Speaking of which, here's another one. One of the Diecast medals, which I wasn't a big fan of this series, but there was one that I wanted that looked good, and it was this one. It happened to be this one too, so far really good choices. I wasn't a huge fan of this series because a lot of them look weird. Some characters look cool, like Iron Man Mark I, or any of the other Iron Men. Those look cool in die-cast metal. Some of the other characters, not so much, where it was just like plain Superman or plain Captain America. It looked weird, and they also shaped the bodies weird, where it's like a really big chest and small legs, but then it has like really big arms and then a big head. And it's just really oddly shaped, and I didn't really like the shape of it so much, but I do like the Mark V that I have, and I do like this Mark I, so these are the few that I did like, but a lot of the other ones just don't look that cool, so I'm glad I got this. That's really cool. Good choice. Alright. Then we got some Excelsior. I found that out that the little hay that they had in the bottom of the bag is actually called Excelsior. Which I don't know why it's called that, but yeah, I learned that last month, so they just gave it to you packaged. Cool, I guess. But yeah, I just didn't know that. That's kind of funny. And we get another one of these Stan Lee cards. Birth of Bullpen Bulletins. Fun fact number 72. Let's see what it says. When I was young, I read The Adventures of Jerry Todd, a series of books written by Edward Edson Lee, no relation. The back pages of each book featured letters to the author, which he would respond to in a friendly manner. Now, I don't know if I consciously remembered those books when I set out to be to do the bullpen page, or if I was unconsciously influenced and only afterwards realized where I got the idea from. I do know that talking to the readers informally seemed like a natural thing to do. Really weird fact. I guess it's kind of a cool story. I'm not sure what the point of that was, really. Alright, there you go. Stan giving us fun facts, or just random shit facts, whatever you want to call it. That's cool. Next, we got an art print. I think I know the artist. Yeah, Mayhew. Mike Mayhew. There we go. So here's something cool about it. You get a nice little art print, and then you get a little bio by the artist, which is really nice, and then it's actually numbered. So they actually listened to my advice and got it numbered. It's not signed, but that's okay. It would be nice if it got signed, but as long as they have a number on there, if it's a limited run, that's what gives it the value. So they listened to my first review, so thank you. And that's nice they put the little bio on the back. It's just, you don't need that. It doesn't bring the value up or anything. It's just nice to have. It's nice to know about the artist. I'm sure the artist appreciates it well. And the print's really cool. It has a nice little penciled sketch look, and it's kind of imitating the cover of the first Avengers. So that's pretty cool. I like that a lot. I like that they have a limited run on it. That'll actually give it some value. Cool. Alright, next. Looks like we've got a book. Just no space for anything here. Alrighty. How to Draw the Marvel Way by Stan Lee and John Buscema. So I guess this is a drawing book on how to draw things Marvel. I don't know if I would really want that, though, because the drawing style of back when these people were doing it, it's not like it was bad or anything, but I don't know if I'd consider it artistic style. It was very dumbed down for the age. It was okay for comics at that time, but I don't know if I'd want to draw like they did back then. No offense to them, I love their comics, but the art style was not top-notch. Even the characters on there, it's like, those aren't even drawn very well. So I don't know anyone who wants to draw like that, but if you do, here's a book on it. You can draw like people used to before they realized they could draw better. So there you go. That's fun. A book on how to draw poorly. So there's that. Alright, next. Got a little sticker over this. Looks like we got another book. What do we got? Rawhide Kid. Marvel Masterworks, Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. So I'm guessing it's a book they did together. I've actually never heard of the Rawhide Kid, but I'm guessing it's a little compilation of all the books on the back. So a little graphic novel of that. Alright, cool. That works. Rawhide Kid. Then we got the comics that match the print. Unleash Monsters. Stan Lee, prepare for the cameo. So these are these comics, and it's just like the other one. They did a color version, and then a black and gray version, just a grayscale, black and white. So there's that. And I'm guessing the comic is called Monsters Unleashed. I'm assuming. Don't know much about it, but I'll have to take a look at it. Yeah, so that's cool. They always give, I like that they give exclusive comics and variants of that. I think those and the print were the only things that were exclusive. The shirt probably, I'm assuming. Some of the others weren't, but it seems like they're getting better. Small steps, but it seems like it's getting better. I have high hopes for this box. I hope it does good. I feel like if enough people buy, they will get the money and they'll get a lot better stuff and they'll get more value, they'll get more exclusives. Because as far as the choices, I really like the choices. I really like the Q-Fig, I really like the heavy metals. Shirt was weird, and I like the print. They did a good job on that. So I feel like whoever's running this has very good choices, which is really appreciated. But they just got to hit the value. So we'll take a short little break, and then I'll figure out the value, and then we'll come back, talk about it, and give this box a rating. See you soon. Alright, we are back. Sorry if I look a little bit different. I had to record this video on 2 separate days because someone barged in when I was doing my value, so this is a separate day. That's why I look different. Sorry. So let's talk about some value on this box. So some very, very surprising things. Even I was surprised about a lot of these things. But we'll start out with the easy stuff. The shirt, it'll get the standard $12 to $15 value, but as far as a rating on this shirt, I'm only going to give it a 5 out of 10, and that's because this shirt kind of sucked. As far as like the fit and feel of it, it fit like crap. It didn't fit well at all. It's definitely not fitted, and the material is just very rough and kind of scratchy, and the design on it is also just kind of weird. It's like not really it's not a realistic face, and it's not really even like a comic book style face. It's like kind of a weird line contour drawing, almost like someone drew it with their finger on their cell phone or something like that. And I don't know, it's just very weird, and it kind of has this like nautical rope around it, and it's like, well, why all these things? It's just a very odd design, and honestly, like, how many things do we really need with Stan Lee's face on there? We got like a million of them from Nerd Block, and it's fine the first time when they did it, but I don't want a shirt every single time this box comes with another Stan Lee face on it. Have it something to do with him, maybe have him in the background, but I don't need a bunch of his face. Like, that's too much. So, the design wasn't good, the quality wasn't good, so, but it's still decent. It's an okay shirt. It's not horrible design. It's not that bad, so 5 out of 10 on that. Next, the Q-Fig. The Spider-Man Q-Fig. I was very happy to see this. I'm glad I didn't buy it because I was hoping it'd show up in a box. I love Q-Figs. I love Quantum Mechanics. They do an amazing job. That's funny. I left it out overnight and there's actually a legit spider web there. Huh, weird. Anyway, they do an amazing job, and those go for right around $20. That may sound high, because usually when we get them in a box, they're exclusive, and they go for much cheaper, but that's why they're cheaper. The normal price on Q-Figs is usually $20. When we see them in like Loot Crate and stuff, they're always exclusive, and they're always devalued because Loot Crate puts out so many each month that it floods the market and it reduces the price. But the normal price on non-exclusive Q-Fig figures is usually around $20. So that's actually pretty normal. And I really like them, so I think it's worth it. Next, our Mark I Heavy Metal. So this kind of depends. If you're going online and getting it, it's probably going to cost like $15, and that's because it's so goddamn heavy. Normally, figures of this price aren't that much because you can ship them first class and it costs next to nothing. Since this is like solid metal and it's the Mark I, which is a big figure, you can't really ship it first class anymore, so you have to pay extra for shipping, and that jacks up the price. But the retail value on it's only $10, and they do sell it in stores. I saw it at Target recently. So if you're able to come across it in a store, it should only cost like $10 or $11. But if you buy it online, it'll probably be closer to $15, and that's because of shipping. So the value will be $10 to $15 range. Next, our comics. So it seems like this is the one thing they are going to do exclusively. It's comics, and so far they've done the same thing both times. They give a color version and a black and white version. Now, I really couldn't find much info on these, and here's the good and bad part about buying a box that's 1, new, and 2, not that popular. Because when a box isn't that popular and you do get exclusive things, they're very valuable because there aren't that many of them out there. Like the example I just gave of Loot Crate. As soon as that Loot Crate puts anything in their box, doesn't matter how cool or how exclusive it is, it automatically gets devalued because they put out almost 1 million boxes every month. So any item they put in there has already flooded the market and is automatically devalued. Boxes like this, and that was the good thing about like Comic-Con box, not that many people got it, so when you did get exclusives, they were very valuable because now they're hard to find because they printed so many less of them. And from what I've seen, not a lot of people get this box. There aren't a lot of reviews out there, and when I search a lot of these things online, there are just practically no listings, which either is probably because not a lot of people get it, and also that hopefully that means not a lot of people are selling it. So I could only find a few listings, so I went off of what's already been sold, and a lot of them sold the pair for $50, $50 to $55. That's actually what they sold for, not just listings, people purchasing it for that price. The only listing I found, there was a few of them, but they were right around a $30 to $40 range for the pair, which I think is crazy overpriced. I don't think they're worth that, but that's what they're selling for. Every listing I've seen has been sold, and they've been selling for around that price. Some other listings I looked at more recently, and some people are trying to ask for like $50 per comic, which I don't think anyone would pay that, but people are paying about $50 for the pair of them. So if people are willing to pay that, that's technically what it's worth. That's how value works. Collectibles are worth as much as someone's willing to pay. Someone's willing to pay $55, that's what it's worth. But since I saw listings for lower, I'm going to value it at 30 to 40, which I still think is a crazy price. I think that's very overpriced, but it's not my call. I don't really have much of a say. That's what people are buying it for. That's what it is. So that's the first thing I was surprised about. So now we got our print from Mike Mayhew. So he's actually a really well-known artist. He has a lot of prints on sale online, and his prints online usually go for like 35 and up, just for a random one. And that's one that's actually not numbered. That's not limited run of anything. They're just prints. And he didn't sign this one, but they do have a limited run on there, so that does give it some value. So I'm going to value this at about 30 bucks, but it would probably go for a lot more. Again, I didn't see any listings online for it, so I'm basing it off of what his other prints go for. And if his other ones are selling for around 30 to 35, I think this one would do the same, especially if those ones don't have a limited run, and this one does. I could see this easily going for that amount. And prints usually are, especially when there's a limited run, so I'm glad they're doing it. I can't remember if they did that with the last box. I'm kind of thinking no, but I'm glad they are, because that's where it gets its value. Nerd Block needs to learn from this, because they always do cool prints, but there's no limited run and there's no signature, so it's worthless. So that's what gives it value. And this is a cool print, and it does have to do with the comic. I like the whole sketch style of it. It has the whole like pencil marks to it. And they have his bio on the back, which they didn't really need to do, but at least there is a limited run, so that's cool. So that's going to get a $30 value. Now, on to our books. Rawhide. So this has a market value. The same thing with all books. It's hard to value them because the full price that's printed on there is $25. And this is new. I can tell it's new. It's in perfect condition. So it's $25. But you can find it online for as low as $15. So it kind of depends on you guys what you would value it. If you value it at full market price, because if you went to a bookstore, that's the price you'd have to pay. But you can find it online for 15 bucks where someone else has read it, but who really cares that much? They don't need to be, graphic novels don't need to be in great condition. So the value range is 15 to 25. So it's up to you what you think it's worth there. Then our How to Draw a Marvel. How to draw them shittily, but still how to draw them nonetheless. Same situation. MSRP on this one is $18. You can find it about the same as the other one, right around that $15, $16 range. So value on this, 16 to 18. Same situation. And lastly, our card. These goofy little cards with this fact on the back that made no sense to me, but you know, whatever. It's still collectible. I kept the other one. It's cool, and it comes in a nice little carrying, or a nice little case there to protect it. So I gave it like $3 or $4. Like, you know, I think it's worth that. It's kind of cool. It has the same picture every time. I wish they would change up the pictures, but you know, that's just me. So $3 or $4, it's like, okay, I think it's worth that. So that all being said, this was actually a pretty good box. Value-wise, this box cost a little under $60. It's a $50 box, then you have to pay for shipping, and then usually there's tax depending on what state you're in. I'm in California, so it ends up being about $59. So it depends on what state you're in, but somewhere between like $55 and $60. So I thought, just like the last box, that's the only problem this box has. They have really good choices. Like I said, I was personally going to pick out this Spider-Man. I was personally going to pick out this Iron Man. I really love them both, and I like the artists they picked out there. So they have really good choices. Their problem was always value. Their first box was very low on the value, and that hurt it tremendously, even though I really did like all this stuff in there. This box, however, did pretty well on the value. So like I was hoping, I kind of said to people, you know, you kind of want to jump on the bandwagon to get the ball rolling, to give the company more money, because I have a feeling if they get more money, they'll do better boxes. And I was right. This one is much better and has a much higher value. And it was just a startup company. They didn't have a lot of money, so they couldn't put it into the box. Once they got money, they can make a better box. And I said if someone's going to do it right, I feel like this box can do really well, and it has. Value-wise, on the low end is $134, and on the high end is $167. Now, I wouldn't probably value it at the high end because that's valuing the books at their full market price, full MSRP, which I personally wouldn't do, but again, that's up to you. But even valuing on the low end at that $134, that's valuing the books on the low end, that's valuing the print on the low end, which I honestly think it could get a little more, and even the comics on the low end. So it was giving pretty fair values to them. Will these values hold up? I'm not totally sure on that. I'm pretty curious as well as if these values will hold up, because I don't think there's not a lot of boxes going out, but I don't know if there's a lot of people that want these items. So there's the kind of conundrum there. So because there's a limited run on these items, it does bring the value up, but I don't know how many people are looking for these specific things. Like these are everywhere. They're not going to go up. I'm talking about the exclusive things, like the prints and the comics. I'm not sure how popular Monsters Unleashed is, so that's to see, and we'll see in the monthly review if the value's held up. But if they do, this is a pretty tremendous box. If people are paying these prices later on as the same they're doing it now with these conservative values, that's great. They did easily double the value. On the low end, they did more than double the value, only by like $10, but still, that's pretty incredible. I've never seen boxes really be able to do that very well. Usually the high, more expensive boxes almost never get double the value, but this one seems to have done it. Now here's the problem. The more popular this box gets, the less these things are going to be worth. The same thing with Loot Crate. The more they put out, the more of a run they have on each of these things, so the less value they get. So right now we're at kind of a sweet spot where it's just gaining some notoriety. We're getting what we're paying for, double that, we're getting cool stuff, and we're getting the value. So I hope they can keep this momentum. I hope the more money they get, the more value they get. And honestly, only minor tweaks. Like I said about the shirt, change it up a little bit, maybe a different picture on the card. Other than that, it was pretty cool. I wouldn't say I'm a huge fan of Rawhide, and I don't need to know how to draw Marvel, but that's just me. But I think other people would like that too. So overall, if the values hold tight, I'm going to give this an 8.5 out of 10. They did really great. I think the choices of the figures were awesome. I really, really like this. I like the first one. The only problem was the value. But anyway, as always, let me know what you guys thought. Did you like these things the same way? Is there any Monsters Unleashed fans out there? Is there any of the Mike Mayhew fans out there? Are you fans of his art? Are you looking for stuff? Let me hear about it in the comments. But so far, I really like this box, and they did a fantastic job. I hope this isn't just a fluke, because $50 is too much to spend if they can't make this happen. But like I said, I do kind of have faith in this company. I do see this going well in the future, but only time will tell. In the meantime, this has been the Stan Lee box. 8.5 on the box, 5 out of 10 on the shirt. Let me know what you guys thought, and we'll talk about it in the comments. Until the next video, love y'all. Peace.